been 2 weeks. We're here. Yeah, I started. I'm just keeping my brother on his toes. It's the 4th and 1 podcast. I get to host this time. I'm very excited. We don't have Robert today. It's week 15. 16. 14. Thank you. See, this is why we keep him around. We're here. Oh, Micaiah, look at you rocking the Crimson Tide. Is that a quarter zip? Is that
it's a low quarter zip. And it doesn't work. Like if the zipper's down like this, you see, it doesn't do. You have to put the zipper up in a neutral position and then have it go up and down.
Oh, fancy. High tech. What's that run you? Like 75 doll hairs?
I think this one was 80. Yeah.
Checks out that Nike gear. That's
But,
a crisp A, though. That's not.
Yeah, I like the swooshy A and the Nike. It's nice, you know.
I forget what that's not monogrammed. Is that's a patch, right? That's sewn on. There's a term for that, or is it sewn into the?
You know.
Maybe
maybe from the backside here.
So it's not heated on. That's a very nice piece. It's definitely worth $80.
It is high quality material.
High quality fashion. And that's what I'm trying to find my thing to turn it up. That's what week 14, aka Rivalry Week, is all about. Brought to you by you guys, the fan. It's the 4th and 1 podcast. I haven't been here in a while. I'm trying to find.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find my settings.
Oh boy. Follow us on TikTok, 4th and 1 Pod, Instagram, 4th and 1 Podcast.
There it is. I found the knob.
We have a lot of new subscribers. I want to give a shout out to a guy on one of our YouTube clips who said, "Great content, bro." Subbed. So appreciate you.
Thanks. That's thanks to Micaiah. We also want to give a shout out to Micaiah, obviously, for putting out those awesome reaction podcasts this week.
I've been doing it.
They're great. They're fun. Obviously, you and I had our first, because of the birth of my son, you and I had our first watch. Normally we watch quite a few Saturdays together. Yeah. One of the time slots. We had our first as Michigan beat Maryland. There it is. We thought about going down, ended up not going down. Honestly, I didn't do the counting of this past week on like kind of how many of these games were close. I know 2 weeks ago, right, we had 16 of the games ended within 6 points of each other. Felt like it was way more than that. This past weekend, didn't feel that way. I know you already covered some of the things. I mean, Michigan-Maryland didn't feel that way, right?
No, it was kind of a boring weekend in general, especially, I mean, late at night. I kind of just stopped watching actually around 10:30 and went on to put on a nighttime show before I went to bed. And then I just kind of looked at my phone for the scores. But yeah, it was week 13, not very exciting. I mean, even USC Oregon, like it was kind of back and forth there for a little bit, but then Oregon kind of pulled away. I mean, Miami blew out Virginia Tech. Vanderbilt blew out Kentucky. The only real exciting was Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech jumped on top of them 28-0. And then Pat Narduzzi was trying to get fired there for a minute. Punting, they're up 35-14, I believe, at this point in time. They're punting, and instead of punting, he fakes a punt. They don't get it. Georgia Tech gets it, or no, it's 28-14, fakes a punt in his own territory and doesn't get it. Georgia Tech then goes in and scores. Thankfully, he got bailed out by his true freshman running back who took one to the house, who kind of put the game out of reach. But other than that, I mean, so that game was only exciting for a brief minute, but that ended 48-28. Pittsburgh in prime position now for an ACC title game, given some help. And Georgia Tech out of the race, more than likely. College football playoff race, assuming they don't beat the Bulldogs this weekend.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at Division II, just kind of understanding what was going on this week. All around in football. Obviously, playoffs start for Division III, Division II. We're probably not going to touch on them at all. We got plenty to talk about, specifically kind of how everything's shaping up here. Do we get any clarity, Micaiah? I know you and I talked about it and you talked about it on the reaction pod, on what's going on in the Big Ten, right? It's kind of like Indiana and who, right? Most likely Ohio State if they beat Michigan this weekend. But if Ohio State loses, do we know? Is it Michigan that jumps in? Is it Oregon that jumps in?
It is. So that is a lot. So if Indiana wins, they are in. If Ohio State wins, they are in. If Ohio State loses and Oregon wins, Oregon would go in over Michigan given strength of something or the other, or highest rated in the standings, something like that, like the rankings. If Indiana loses, Michigan wins, and Oregon loses, you get an Ohio State-Michigan rematch, I believe.
Okay.
And then, it falls down a rabbit hole. There's a scenario where Oregon and Michigan make it. There's a scenario where Indiana and Michigan, where, Ohio State and Oregon, it's a whole bunch of, it falls down a rabbit hole pretty quickly. But because Indiana already beat Oregon, they have that tiebreaker in their back pocket, which makes things a little simpler. I would like you, though, to Google just very quickly some of the ACC tie-break scenarios, because it is very confusing and it makes my head hurt. The SEC is kind of in that same boat as well. A little more clear-cut, because if Alabama and Texas A&M both win Saturday, well, Friday night and Saturday, that is who that matchup will be. But if Alabama loses,
it's the most wonderful time of the year here from the perspective of, I'm waiting for the ACC website to load, that we get full weekend football, right? We had Monday Night Football. We have football going on right now as Bowling Green is blowing out UMass 28 to nothing in the second quarter. So just letting everyone know about that as we're recording this on Tuesday the 25th. So we got college football tonight. We have college football tomorrow, Navy, Memphis. And then we have, obviously, Thursday's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy shout out Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Love your pies. Love your turkeys. And then we got ball Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you're a football fan, it's a great time.
It's the second greatest weekend.
In college football.
First greatest weekend would be opening weekend.
Correct.
Because then you have
not
the
week 0,
whole
week 1.
season in front of you.
Yeah.
Bittersweet. Season ending. Regular season anyway. We do have some weeks after that. Bowl season. By the way, it's up on the AP. Do you want me to give you this? Because
I'm sharing my screen. Am I not right now?
No, you are, but I got them for all the conference championships.
Oh,
on
okay.
The
well,
AP
you
website.
asked me to look up the ACC.
That's fine.
So I looked up the ACC.
We can start with this.
So
Duke, go there.
So Duke clinches a spot, so Duke's still involved.
Yeah,
they beat UNC this past weekend, correct?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Come from behind.
Come from behind victory.
Come on.
Robert will be happy. So win plus a Pitt loss plus an SMU loss. And then there's a bunch of different ones. I'm just going to read. Finishing higher than MIA in Sports Secure Analyst ranking. That's wild that that's even an option. Georgia Tech is in with a Pitt win plus a UAV loss plus an SMU loss. So it looks like SMU's kind of getting in at this point. Miami win, UAV loss, Duke loss, SMU loss. Lots of options for Miami. Pittsburgh, win in UAV loss or win in SMU loss. SMU win, so they're winning in.
Yep.
If not, then Pitt has to lose, Duke has to lose, UVA has to win, and UNC has to win. UNC has to win. And Virginia is winning in. And if not, then SMU loses, plus Pitt loses, plus UNC wins. So, it's most likely SMU Virginia is what you're telling me.
So you know what's wild about this?
Yeah.
Is SMU.
That it's SMU Virginia?
Is that, number one, it's SMU, and number two, more important, number one, that it's Virginia, number two, that it's SMU. No. Is that SMU paid $200 million to be in this conference.
Yeah.
And they might represent the ACC in the college football playoff in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Can you, but now, cart before the horse here, but they've lost one ACC game in the last 2 years. It's wild. to me that Rhett Lashley has taken a program that was down and out for so long, and Sonny Dykes should get some credit because he did kind of revive that program a little bit from what it was.
Yep.
But then they made the transition from the American to the ACC, and they're still having success. Lots of money down there in Dallas. Small stadium, which doesn't help with the stadium impact noise, but they win. You know, that's all they're doing right now. If they would have had some more wins in the non-con, they'd probably be a top 10, 15 team.
Yeah, I mean, don't they have 2 losses right now? The ACC's kind of tearing each other apart. I mean, so is the MAC. If you like college football, you're loving the MAC right now. Who's like, they're all like 6-5. Yeah, they all have like 5 losses, and they're. I mean, do you have that one? Sorry to totally left turn us.
Let me
Is that
see
one
here.
pulled up on the scenario for the MAC?
Excuse me. Conference USA. Mid-American. Standings are Western Michigan 6-1, Central Michigan 5-2, Ohio 5-2, Toledo 5-2, Miami of Ohio 5-2. Outlook. Toledo and CM. The
Western
Toledo
Michigan.
And Central Michigan loser is out. That's the easy part. Western Michigan is in with a win. Okay.
Go Broncos.
Aside from that, the tiebreakers are plentiful and complicated. If the favorites this week, Western Michigan, Ohio, Miami, Toledo, all win, that would create a 3-way tie for the second spot. Miami would prevail based on record versus common opponents. This may be part of the reason Toledo's odds of winning the league, now at plus 425, have gotten even longer since last week when the Rockets were favored to win the whole thing.
Wow.
So
I'm assuming the Rockets lost last week. If
I
had
would
to
assume
guess.
so. I'm not totally sure. I don't keep.
We did not show the MAC enough love this year, just in general, because like it doesn't matter, but at the same time, it matters the most because the MAC is the essence of college football. By the way, UMass, soon to be MAC, soon to be a MAC, did score a touchdown and is now 7-28 with 3:30 left in the second. So just keeping everyone apprised of that situation.
SMU faced 2 Big 12 teams and lost to them both. Baylor and TCU. They have 3 losses because then they went on the road to Wake Forest and lost a 13-12 game.
That's right.
So really, they would probably still be top 25 if they had maybe even beaten Wake Forest, but they're 8-3. So again, like SMU's very good shot, and I'm just going to say that SMU's probably going to be favored if they do match up against Virginia in the conference championship.
I would have to assume, even with Chandler Morris, I think he got injured. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, you got to give Virginia credit. They were not on our radar. I'd have to go back and listen to that podcast of like the ACC prediction podcast. They weren't on our radar. So shout out to Virginia for making that happen. Let's jump over to the SEC. I know that one's pretty straightforward. That's Georgia versus who, right? That's the question.
It's no. Georgia is probably not involved, given something crazy that happened. It's Alabama. So it's Alabama 7-0, Georgia 7-1, Mississippi, Ole Miss 6-1, and Alabama 6-1. The outlook: A&M is in the SEC championship game with a win, but the Aggies are vulnerable. They play whatever. If Texas A&M loses,
who do they play this weekend?
Texas.
It's Texas, so
they play Texas. Yeah.
Okay. What is their name? Need to continue talking.
If Texas A&M loses, it would still make the title game if both Alabama and Ole Miss lose. Alabama's in with a win, so the easiest path is A&M and Alabama both win, and they are in. Georgia is in if either Alabama or A&M lose. Ole Miss is in if both Alabama and A&M lose. So right now we're looking down the barrel of A&M Alabama, but if either one of them loses, Georgia jumps right in there eagerly, and if both of them lose, then we get a rematch of Georgia and Ole Miss, which would be wildly fascinating because like the week 6 or 7 matchup that we had was awesome. Side note, will Lane Kiffin still be the coach at Ole Miss? should Ole Miss make the SEC title game? Because that's been a big story this week. Lane Kiffin is giving his decision on whether or not he's staying at Ole Miss or going to LSU after the Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl is Friday evening. So the Egg Bowl is... Oh, I'm sorry. It's Friday at noon. So Friday at noon, that game ends 3:30. It's coming Saturday morning. So my guess is that the news of Lane Kiffin, where he's going to be coaching, is going to drop right before college football kicks off, Michigan and Ohio State. Leave it to Lane Kiffin to just be the biggest story for the past 2 weeks, and then even after that, he's going to upstage one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. Not to mention then the Iron Bowl, which is also later that day at 7:30 ABC. So hey, Lane Kiffin's just gonna be the story all weekend.
I do respect the fact that you are shouting out me every time you give.
Hey, people got to know where they can watch the games.
All right, so interesting. So the Illinois Northwestern does not have the Land of Lincoln trophy. So, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't just call it the Land of Lincoln rivalry. That's just me. The Sweet Sue Tomahawk. I understand why you got rid of that. Let's jump into this week, okay? We got it's rivalry week, which was what makes it one of the best. Okay, we got games starting Friday. Obviously, there's stuff happening. The big one on Friday is the Egg Bowl, which is what you're talking about.
Two big ones, or three big ones actually on Friday, but we'll get there.
We're starting with the.
All right, we'll start with the Egg Bowl.
We're starting with the Egg Bowl. We have Mississippi. I believe they are plus 10. Have them up here.
They are minus 7.5.
And that's what I meant. Oh, they're okay. They're minus 7.5, which I want to say that number dropped from this morning.
Probably because the biggest storyline in this game is Lane Kiffin too much of a distraction for Ole Miss to win this game? Mississippi State had Texas on the ropes. They messed around with Tennessee, almost beat them at home. Like at home, Mississippi State is a completely different team than they are on the road. So they are at home facing their arch rivals. Anything can happen. The Lane Kiffin story looms like a dark cloud in a thunderstorm on a summer's evening. What's going to come out of this, no one knows. All I know is that Trinidad Chambliss has won a national championship in Division II. I expect his leadership to come forward, especially on offense, keep things moving. I do expect Ole Miss to win the game. I think it's close, though. And then I expect Lane Kiffin to leave and go to Baton Rouge.
You think he's going to go to LSU?
Well, the greatest argument I've had for this, I've had two arguments. One I've heard, one I made up. Which one would you like first?
Both.
Okay. The one I heard is
that podcast. Tell me both of them.
The one I heard
I'm looking up rivalry names.
Is that why would you go through all of this hubbub if you were going to stay?
Right.
Okay. Just come out and be like, I'm staying at Ole Miss. Done. Right.
Right.
Why would you? Oh, maybe I'm leaving. Maybe I'm not. Anyway, it breaks apart a team. Now we'll see. Maybe the team is just equally as. Go with the flow. Lane Kiffin is right. College football has never been more year to year than it is right now. So the kids probably understand this because the kids can leave as soon as he leaves.
Right.
My second point that I made up is why he's going is because LSU and Lane Kiffin are the same kind of toxic. And what I mean by that is this article that came out by Dan Wetzel and Pete Thamel yesterday at 8:04 p.m. The attorneys for Brian Kelly have informed LSU in a letter that the school claimed it had not formally terminated Brian Kelly as its football coach, made it nearly impossible for him to get another coaching job, and that Brian Kelly is going to come after them for all that it's worth. Meanwhile, LSU has terminated him with cause in order to try not to pay him the $54 million it owes him. they're the same kind of toxic.
Listen, if your lady doesn't like college football, all you got to do is bring up anything. Dude, SEC Shorts this week was all of Lane Kiffin's ex teams, and it was like them drinking wine together.
Yeah,
and it is the most accurate representation of what you're talking. Listen, if once your wife, girlfriend, significant other who is a female is done finishing The Secret Life of Mormon Wives, okay,
season 2, 3,
we all know that we all have someone in our life watching that. 3, I don't care, dude. Okay,
I think it's 3.
It's fake women in fake scenarios that happen to live in Utah and might have a hint of the Mormon Jesus on them. Okay, listen. Once they're done, sit them down and give them the LSU, Brian Kelly, and Lane Kiffin scenario, and they will watch college football with you for the rest of their life, and they'll probably be big squirrel / shark / sip fans for the rest of their life. Because Makai, you're 100% correct, which is why I was laughing. It's the best. It's the two people, the will they, won't they in high school. The oh my gosh, they're broken up. Oh, they're back together. It's
if this was the first time this happened with Lane Kiffin, it'd be like, okay, so he's deciding if he wants to go to an all-time school, what's labeled as an all-time school, and try to get it done. No, he did this with literally Tennessee when he left overnight after 1 year. He got fired on a tarmac at USC. He was the offensive coordinator at Alabama and got fired, well, relieved of his duties. He had already accepted the Florida Atlantic job, but got fired 2 weeks before the national title because he was too much of a distraction, because at his Florida at Atlantic. Like coaching press conference, he was bashing Saban, in which he was still working under. So he can't do anything smoothly. They're the same type of toxic.
You have to remember,
LSU can't get rid of Brian Kelly smoothly.
From USC from that, then Ed Orgeron takes over, and if it wasn't for the fact that he had a drinking problem in that, we wouldn't have Joe Burrow.
And then Lane Kiffin comes out apparently and says, yeah, I'm open to the idea if I get the LSU job to hire Ed Orgeron on the staff.
Well, that's just good marketing.
Which you know what's going to happen? In year 2, they're going to win a national championship. And in year 4, Lane Kiffin's going to go down in a dumpster fire and they're going to fire him.
He's going to go to Bowling Green.
It's the same kind of toxic. They deserve each other. You know what? I bet Ole Miss fans are just like, you know what? Just leave. At this point, just leave. Simeon, question for you, though.
Yeah.
He takes the LSU job.
Yeah.
Would you let him coach in the playoff? Assuming they make the playoff and beat Mississippi State, would you let him coach in the playoff?
Yes, because I want the money anyway. Here's a counter argument. Same side of the coin, okay, of they're perfect and they're toxic for each other. It is Ole Miss is doing this all for marketing.
Could be.
He stays. Kiffin's planning on staying because I still don't understand.
Brandon Walker agrees with you. That's what Brandon Walker thinks is happening.
It's all marketing. I have the news cycle. We're not talking about Bama. We're not talking about State. We're not talking about LSU. We're talking about Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. And I can get everything here that I can get at Baton Rouge, which still doesn't make any sense. Yes, the stadium atmosphere, but you're building a culture that 2 years. You've built a culture in 2 years. You're telling me you can't get the same atmosphere in Oxford that you can get in Baton Rouge?
People say that the town of Oxford is just so wholesome and it just draws you in, and it's a great atmosphere in and of itself. Like not even on game days, but just outside of game days.
I'm very confused as to why I need to go to Baton Rouge for a stadium atmosphere. Like that's the only selling point.
You said it best when we were together.
Yeah.
It's a lateral move. So why go through all of this for a lateral move?
Yeah,
right.
That's your point, and it's a good point.
If
and
he
I don't
was
disagree
at Kentucky
with you.
and he wants to go to LSU,
Arkansas, Kansas,
yeah, right,
yeah. Like if he's a coordinator at Alabama, Michigan, any one of these places, he's going, it's different.
So they put out the 30 for 30 documentary. I'm just saying stuff that I've already said before, but they put out the 30 for 30 documentary that was basically the underlying tone was, Oxford and Lane Kiffin go together because it just mellows out Lane Kiffin. He quit drinking. He's a better person. His family's there now. His ex-wife still lives in town. His son is a junior quarterback at the high school. His daughter is a junior in college there at Ole Miss. Like, they're just awesome. Oxford was so good. So you have stability, and you want to leave that for a place that ran Ed Orgeron out the door 18 months after his national championship, ran Brian Kelly out the door after, a whole bunch of disappointing 9-3, 10-2 seasons.
Forget about the amazing athletes that you've had at this school. Anyway,
a Heisman Trophy winner.
We're not going to get into. We have way too many other games to talk about.
I'm just saying. We can dive
into this after the season and just look back and wonder why it's the case. Okay, so Egg Bowl is Friday, 12 p.m. ABC. Give me Ole Miss.
Okay.
Minus the points.
And where does Lane Kiffin go after he's done?
He's going to LSU.
Okay, great.
He shouldn't. He's going to LSU.
I agree. Okay, next game.
Just we're going to shout out a few things before we go down. I want to talk about Heroes Cup. Shout out Iowa, Nebraska, CBS, 12 p.m.
I think it's an Iowa route waiting to happen, but that's all right.
I agree. Dylan Raiola, they fell apart. Penn State was finally able to win something.
Matt Rule picked a perfect time to get the extension.
Really did, and honestly, hopefully the recruiting class he's bringing in / transfers is going to be top notch, because if not, it's going to be a lot of 6-5 and 7-4 for him. Rams Falcon Trophy, the Air Force Colorado State game is also on. Again, I'm just shouting out the rivalry games because we love college football here. This is the game I want to talk about. Clean, old-fashioned hate.
It's my second favorite rivalry name. Name.
What's your favorite one?
Third Saturday in October.
That's a great one, but this one
mostly just because I envision people being like, "What should we name this rivalry?" I don't know when do they play.
What should we name this rivalry? It's the third Saturday in October. All right, Doc, we're gonna name it.
All right,
that's what we're gonna name it.
That's what we're gonna do. Clean old fashioned hate. I think, if it was before the Pittsburgh game, it was wildly fascinating, and now it just feels sad.
Yeah, but remember, this is the game that took what was it? Eight
overtimes last year in Athens. I get that. We are playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium because Georgia Tech sold this game right to them for, I'm sure, a chunk of change. That's how it works now. Georgia's just on a different level. Georgia is at the top of my national contenders top 5 list. Georgia, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, and then I would I'm missing someone. I would throw a Texas A&M in there as well. And Notre Dame's right there. I think Georgia's just on another level. It's a rivalry game, so Kirby doesn't have to get them up, because the players already know what this game is about. They went to 8 overtimes last year. They almost lost it last year at home. They're on the road. Watch out for Georgia Tech. Watch out for Georgia Tech. I don't think Georgia's defense falls asleep, as it has been for the majority of a season for a half, and then it'll wake back up. I think this is Georgia domination through and through. I do think Georgia covers the 13.5. And I like the Bulldogs, obviously, then to win.
Yeah, I think this is a Bulldogs. I'm hoping it's very similar to how it was last year. But
I hope it's a great game. I hope it's not. I hope it's 12 overtimes. That would be amazing.
Give me 13.
Give me 13.
Did the Lone Star Showdown happen last year? Because I don't remember it happening last year.
Is that Texas A&M, Texas?
Texas A&M versus Texas.
It did. And Texas dominated in a defensive battle. It was a low-scoring kind of defensive battle, but A&M really didn't move the ball well. A&M kind of fell apart late in the season. It is now kind of reversed, as it was last year. A&M hitting their stride, except for that one half against South Carolina that led to one of the greatest games this season about 2 weeks ago that happened. Texas now stumbling down the stretch. However, Texas beats A&M. Texas has an outside shot to still make the college football playoff. Arch Manning playing some of his best ball down the stretch. A&M's defense has fell apart sometimes throughout the year. They've given up a lot of yardage, but their offense really seems to be running well. I think it's too much Mike Elko defense controls and confuses Arch Manning, and then Marcel Reed doing what Marcel Reed does with his legs, with his arms, just wreaking havoc for this Texas defense. And I do finally think that the Texas defense finally gives up. I'm surprised the line is only 2.5, which means that someone knows something I don't know. I like Texas A&M, and I like Texas A&M by 2 scores.
Two
scores.
Give me Texas A&M. I'm looking at what's the favorite?
It's 2.5.
2.5. Yeah. Give me Texas to cover.
Ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't host very often, and when he does, he falls asleep and doesn't pay attention.
I'm trying to prep and listen at the same time, and I can't do two things because, like, ChatGPT did not do a good job. I had to find the rivalry name games for these because, you know what? First of all, update. With 19 seconds to go, the Minutemen is now 14-28.
Wait, UMass is going to win?
No, UMass. It's 14 and a half. So we're at halftime.
But UMass is up.
No, they're down by 14.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's 14-28
they scored 14
halftime.
Points.
14 points is where we're at.
Can I just take a little sidetrack right here, just real quick?
Yeah.
Kirk Cignetti, real quick. Mm-hmm. Kirk Cignetti, huge favorite versus Purdue, right? 28, did a press conference, basically talking up Purdue, like to his team through the media, talking up. And I saw that and I thought, I don't know, Simeon, do you remember over the offseason, Kirk Cignetti came out and said, why play hard non-conference games? The SEC doesn't, so why should I? Right? Do you remember him doing that? Okay.
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly. So they basically scheduled nobody at some FCS schools and group of 5 opponents for their non-conference for like the next 7 years instead of playing hard out of conference. And he was absolutely right because they did that again this year. Their non-conference schedule this year is as followed. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State. They let a total of 23 points be scored on them, and they scored like 170 points in those games.
That's not a made-up number. That is a rough number that he just did math in his head. It sounds like a made-up. Oh, they scored like Hunt Bill in points.
Yeah, no, that's what they scored in those 3 games combined, or roughly. They have one top 10 win currently. They beat Oregon on the road. But other than that, Iowa, Illinois was top 10, isn't top 10 anymore. And I go based on what their ranking is now. So Illinois, UCLA was real bad. Maryland's real bad based on what Michigan did to them. Penn State, again, real bad. And Wisconsin, super bad. Like, dumpster fire. So Kirk Cignetti was right. And I really do wonder if other teams and ADs will look at this and say, why schedule hard out of conference games if we're going to be penalized for losing? So say Michigan beats Ohio State on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then the committee goes, well, they have 2 losses. Okay. But they went on the road to Oklahoma, and that was a 1-score game until late with about 2:30 left, and Oklahoma kicked the field goal to go up 11. Right?
Right.
Like Texas.
Right.
Went to Ohio State, lost by a touchdown with a first start. So, like, what? So, if you're just going to reward Indiana and put Indiana at 2 for one ranked top 10 win, then what's stopping everyone else from doing that?
The committee has proven, and I'm not the only one saying this, the committee has proven in the year of our Lord 2025 that the eye test is the only thing that matters.
Shout out.
Why was Notre Dame ranked above Miami? Why is Notre Dame ranked above Miami? And I'm sure they will be in an hour and a half. It's just a matter of fact. Miami beat Notre Dame. Why is that the case? So we're going in here. It's the only test that the committee cares about. It's the optics. It's the marketing. That's all the committee cares about. Are they making good bowl games? Indiana's a good story right now. If Indiana was Ohio State, they wouldn't be ranked as high. Well, they would have to be. But if Indiana was Ohio State, we'd be like, well, they haven't played anybody, and they would be ranked 5th or something like that.
I mean, Ohio State's resume is very similar to Indiana's.
I was going to use them as the example. Ohio State kind of did that this year, where they
Right.
played Texas, and then they played nobody, and they covered. That's all they did.
Right.
They just went. If they were favored by 30, they beat people by 31.
They're going to bookend their season with ranked opponents. Yeah, absolutely.
And they'll keep the Michigan rivalry because they have to keep the Michigan rivalry because it's too much money. Even when Michigan goes independent in 2037, that's just, it's going to be the case. Is that when the TV contract?
32.
Okay. I forgot which TV contract that was worth $1 billion. I'm sorry. My bad, guys. Anyway, that's enough. By the way, Indiana, Purdue, this is our fun fact for the game. Simeon's unnecessary Wikipedia page listing. The rivalry between Indiana and Purdue has spilled over into other arenas. Basically, since 2013, but this is started in 2001, they compete for the Governor's Cup. This is the Purdue, Indiana. In all the sports, accumulate points based on the result of head-to-head competitions or standings in Big Ten Championship for shared varsity sports. So whoever has the most points at the end of the year wins the Governor's Cup in athletics total. Football plays for the old Oaken Bucket, so I'm calling this the battle for the old Oaken Bucket because I'm not creative. That's that rivalry game. Moving on, fun fact here for you. Illinois Northwestern plays this weekend.
You already did that.
Yeah,
Illinois.
That's the Land of Lincoln. I'm just letting you know. I'm covering
real
all my
quick.
bases.
So they compete for the Governor's Cup.
Yes.
So it's a cumulative point total
for the year.
So if Indiana goes out and routs Purdue 56-0.
No. You get points based on standings. So Purdue finishes in last. They get X amount of points. Indiana wins the Big Ten. They get X amount of points. Let's say they get 10 and Purdue gets 1 because Indiana finished in first place.
Gotcha.
Football. But let's say Purdue basketball finishes in first and Indiana basketball finishes in last. Then Purdue would get 10 points. It's the shared varsity. So your entire schools are competing, and every shared sport is competing against each other for the Governor's Cup.
That's a great way to do that.
It's fantastic, and every other...
More schools should do that.
Yes.
Michigan and Ohio State should do that. Maybe they do.
I mean, no, it should be
Probably
Michigan State is more my thought
process.
Shout
out Fighting Kevin Kearns for advancing in the NCAA championship in soccer. Men's soccer.
And I'm going to use this moment. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about Division 3. We had play-in.
And now here we go.
Division 2. We had play-in this past weekend. I'm going to give a shout-out to Muhlenberg, who made it to round 2. They take on Mount Union, so they will be losing this weekend. Obviously, it's a home game now, according to Robert. Eastern, Franklin, and Marshall here in Lancaster. Two PA teams. Got to give shout-out to our folks over at Radnor.
Shout out.
Susquehanna's taking on Christopher Newport. They beat Washington and Jefferson by 6 this past weekend. And that's for Division 2. Finley lost their game last week to Minnesota State, 14-37. Finley was ranked 2nd overall going into that game. However, Kutztown blew out Bentley 52-0. They take on Assumption on the 29th, which is Sunday. Saturday.
FCS playoffs start this weekend.
FCS playoff, California, PA takes on Frostburg. And I think I saw that another school, PA school, lost. No, but shout out Lehigh, since we're shouting out FCS. They're ranked 3rd going into...
Yes,
Indiana PA lost to Assumption. I apologize, by 3. They're ranked 3rd going in FCS, so shout out to the Battlehawks, I believe technically is what they are. Territorial Cup, going back to FBS, Territorial Cup. Listen, I'm not good with my transitions. I'm not you. That's the late game tonight. Friday night. I apologize. That's Arizona State.
Yep.
Arizona is favored by 1.5. Makai, who you got?
I will take Arizona State because they are at home. Kenny Dillingham, I think, gets it done.
Yeah.
Again, there was a post on Facebook where it's like, the announcers be like, oh man, you hate to see this when people start fighting and we're all like, shut up. No, we don't. And this was one rivalry last year that, hands were thrown and there was fisticuffs at the end of the game. Dude, I'm all for it. kind of a little scuffle at the end. I am for that on rivalry weekend. Let me roll with the Sun Devils, though.
Okay, yeah, give me the Sun Devils. I don't know why Arizona's favored. Probably
someone knows something we don't know.
Per usual, what do we say? Vegas knows something we don't, and we've been wrong every time we bet against Vegas this year. Rolling over into Saturday, let's just start right away. We got the game.
The game.
Game day's going to be on one side of the stadium. Big noon kickoff's going to be at the other side of the stadium. I think that's what they call themselves now. I don't even know what they call themselves.
Dave Portnoy might have an orgasm if Michigan wins the game.
Listen, he'll either have lift in his shoes or he'll be on an apple box. Listen, he'll be there in prime time with all the stuff on. Probably make 15 insults in the first 35 minutes at Urban Meyer, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
OSU's favored by 9.5. Over-under's 44. Give me the under on this for sure.
Okay.
I'm going to take Michigan plus the points, but Ohio State outright. You and Robert don't agree with me.
Yeah. To me, it feels different. Ohio State just feels different. Last year, upset. Ohio State fans are people are saying, oh, Ohio State needs to watch out. No, Ohio State now kind of sees them coming. Sees Michigan coming from a mile away. Michigan is playing their best ball. And all season, it's been as it should be with 6 true freshmen or redshirt freshmen somewhere on the offense for Michigan. It's after a good game, then they have a bad game. Then they have a good game, then they have a bad game. They just had a good game, which means that the bad game is coming. Ohio State feels balanced, yet dangerous at the same time. They have found a running game late. They have the 2 NFL wide receivers. Julian Sand, I think, is allowed to walk out and hand the ball to people. His completion percentage is so high. I don't know how they fare in the playoffs. If I had a guess, they're going to do very well, Ohio State. Before this game, it feels so much different than it did last year because it just feels like people are like, Ohio State has a Michigan problem, and Ohio State's just going to hear that all week long, which means that Ryan Day can use that as motivation. They're going to get up. I think it is a 17-10 game at halftime, but it feels like Ohio State's in control and Michigan's barely hanging on, and then Ohio State pours it on, and it is 41-20. I think Michigan's defense, which is getting a lot more credit than I think it deserves, That's Ohio fair. State exposes it. It's a win-win situation for me, betting on Ohio State. Give me Ohio State minus the 9.5. I think it's blowout city. Simeon, you might hit the under, but it might be 31-10 sort of deal. Ohio State's defense is nasty. Ohio State is not messing around. Ohio State makes a statement in Ann Arbor, and the crowd clears out.
Wow.
At the end of the third.
Makai, I was going to let you have this and move on to the next game.
Yep.
Let's talk about it for a second. Who has Ohio played this year? Ohio State played this year.
That's everyone's on the TikTok clip. That's what everyone's been saying.
Okay. They've played Texas, right? That's it. A struggling Texas.
Yeah.
Right?
And they went on the road to Illinois. And Washington, technically.
That's it. I agree with you. They're a good team from what I've watched them play. Obviously, you've watched a lot more. I've been working on my house. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a photo that I can see behind you.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And while I agree that Michigan, they see Michigan coming this year.
This guy needs to make some kicks.
That guy needs to make all of his kicks, not some of his kicks. He needs to have a 100% perfect day.
Dominic, you got to be better.
Okay. Apparently, no. This is the thing. If Michigan is if it's between the 30 and the 50, have him kick the ball. He hasn't missed.
Yeah, that's true.
He hasn't missed.
He doesn't miss from 45-yard plus. It's just...
So, this is what I'm saying. I think it's disrespectful with how much we're forgetting this is a rivalry game. This game's going to be won on the defensive side of the ball. Again, I agree with you. It's going to be an Ohio State win. But this game's going to be won on the defensive side of the ball. This game's going to be won in the locker room. Okay? Expect chippiness early on. Expect at least 2 ejections. This game's going to, from either side, it could be, this game's going to get hot. It's going to get hot fast. It's never going to be out of hand for either team, though. I think this is going to come down to the wire, and I think it's going to be a defensive slugfest. That's what it feels like. It feels like Michigan has been waiting until this week, and then if they get on top, if they get an interception, pick six, interception, large return, turn it into some points, that's all they need. If they don't do that, Micaiah, to your point, it's a 31-10, and
I can't explain it, but sometimes you just have a feeling, and that's all I can say on this. I just have a feeling that Ohio State is about to just put belt to ass on my team, the Wolverines from Ann Arbor.
All right. We'll let it happen. It's still halftime out there in Ohio as Bowling Green is taking on the Minutemen of Massachusetts. At least I think it's in Ohio.
Are we still doing updates on this game?
Yeah, I'm going to give you updates until we're done. Listen, we got the Governor's Cup, Kentucky-Louisville. We're not talking about it. Makai, give me a quick...
different Governor's Cup, apparently. Give me Louisville. Yep. Give me Louisville. I don't have a reason. Just give me them.
Give me Louisville as well. Mark Stoops expecting to retire at the end of the season.
Is he really?
I'm guessing.
He might. See, as much with that guess as Kentucky fans actually know that their team is still playing football.
We got the Palmetto, sorry, probably still mispronouncing it, bowl or game, rivalry. What is it called? Bowl. It was right. It is
the Clemson, South Carolina.
Yeah, the classic. South Carolina is favored by 2.5. Micaiah, what do you got? Quick hitter.
Give me Clemson. I just think that they're not as broken as South Carolina.
Nice. I don't know. I'm sure Miami. Oh no, Ball State's in Indiana. I forgot where that's at. I'm just kind of looking down the list here for these quick hitters that I actually care about and want to talk about. I'm assuming Sunbelt is going to get wrapped up this weekend. I think someone probably just needs to win for the West Division. Side note,
they Troy and Southern Miss play each other.
Okay.
Winner takes on James Madison.
I'm going to take my glasses off and look right into the camera.
Okay, there you go.
This is for the committee.
Okay.
I swear on my child's life, on my mother's life, and on my wife's life, if you do not rank JMU, and specifically rank them above 15, in an hour and 15 minutes when you release the ranking, I'll give you an hour and 30 just to be nice. I will, if I ever run into you, find you and smack you in the face. Because I can go do an assault charge. I can't get caught with the body. The disrespect that is on the that is for the James Madison Duke, or you know what? I'll even be nice and throw in the mean green of North Texas, is astonishing. It is disrespectful. It is not part of the game. I don't care if they're going to have a blowout loss in round 1 to Notre Dame. I want to see James Madison in the college football playoff. I want to pay you money to watch them, and I would like to eat probably some form of chicken while doing so.
Best thing, love that. Best thing I've heard is that we should take the SEC out of the playoff and just let the group of 5 and everyone else battle it out, and the SEC can go and determine their champion. The fact that people want to take the smaller conferences out of the college football playoff is asinine to me. We need it in the playoff. Now, I can get behind that if you want to say that you are not allowed to take any conference champion to the playoff if they are not ranked in the top 25 or above 15 or some number like that. But it needs to be a rule for all conferences because college football needs the small conferences just as much as it needs the big conferences. It all feeds each other. There are little birds that sit on the teeth of alligators and pick food out of their teeth or something like that. I might be wrong. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's a symbiotic relationship from the big fish all the way down to the little fish. And we need that in college football. And you wanting to disclude smaller conferences North Texas, JMU, Tulane from the college football playoff is a disturbing way of thinking. And that's the best way I can put that. Again, if you want to say we're not going to take any conference champion that's not ranked in the top 25, that's fine. But then if SMU wins the ACC, don't just rank them in the top 25 to put them in the college football playoff, because at 8-3 and some of their losses are really, really bad, they don't deserve it. So, committee, be better. Sorry, Duke. I was not snapping to call you. My bad.
It's all good. James Madison takes on Coastal Carolina this weekend. They're favored by 21. You taking them to cover, Micaiah?
Yeah, I'll take them to cover.
I mean,
actually, no. I didn't like how they looked last week. I'm not taking them to cover.
All right, that's fair. It's Coastal Carolina. I think I took Coastal Carolina plus the points. Sorry, I'm getting back on us, somewhat back on track as I'm kind of looking down the schedule. Oregon, Washington. Sorry, 3:30 CBS. This is the CBS game. I have no idea what this rivalry game is called. It is a rivalry game.
So Oregon needs this game. I don't know what this rivalry game is called.
I'm looking it up.
Oregon needs this game not only to have a shot at the Big Ten title, but to have a playoff shot. If they lose this, Oregon's resume isn't really good. Their overall combined score of their opponents is well below 500. So they need to beat Washington and kind of finish things strong here after beating USC last week. They are favored by 6.5 on the road. Washington's a tough place to play. Washington's kind of, they won 3, then lost 1, then won 2, then lost 1, then won 1, then lost 1 now to Wisconsin. That one really hurt them really bad, but then they beat Purdue and UCLA. I do like Oregon to win, but coming off of an emotional game last week, I don't think they covered the 6.5, so I would take Washington plus the points, but I think Oregon locks up their bid for the college football playoff with a win in Washington on Saturday.
The Cascade Clash or the Fight for the Forest. I obviously like the Fight for the Forest. This is per Google, wherever it's pulling it from. Love both. Or the Northwest Championship, Brotherhood of Hate. It also has 2 links for those as well. Is for the Oregon, Washington. Give me Oregon minus 6.5. Probably give me the over 2, but I could see this being like a pretty good thumping. This LSU Oklahoma thing, this is totally trying to make fetch happen, right? Wasn't this the rivalry game that, because Oklahoma already plays Texas and LSU doesn't have anybody, so didn't they play each other last year too?
Yeah. They're trying to make. They've only played like 5 times, I think, total.
Yeah, it's trying to make fetch happen.
But LSU has dominated the series. Yeah. I think LSU, I don't think Oklahoma's actually ever beaten LSU. Could be wrong. I like the Sooners defense a lot. LSU had a lot of 13-10 win over Western Kentucky last week at home, senior day. LSU's just praying for Lane Kiffin in the worst way. Oklahoma, their offense needs to find something late. I hope John Mateer finds his early season magic because that defense is awesome. Brent Venables knows how to call defense, and clearly he may have been the driving force at Clemson there for how much they've fallen off since he's left. Give me the Sooners. Give me the under. It's 36.5. I like the under here, 23-10. Sort of deal. Oklahoma, their senior day at home, 23-10. Oklahoma wins.
Paul Bunyan's asks. I'm calling it the stop trying to make fetch happen bowl. I know it's lengthy. That's what I'm calling it. Paul Bunyan's axe. I'm trying to fit all these.
You said
rivalries
axe
in here.
First,
I said axe, also known as the border battle.
Axe.
Axe.
There you go.
Gosh,
you're making it plural.
Okay, you know what, Micaiah?
What?
Suck on this axe, okay?
Nice.
Missouri, Arkansas, battle line, rivalry.
Well, I mean, just pick winners real quick. If you're going to give the name, pick
I'm
winner.
giving you these names. You can pick both.
Pick winners. Missouri and Minnesota.
Missouri, Minnesota. I like both. Give me Minnesota. Give me Missouri because Arkansas is not doing anything for me.
Rivalry name for Penn State Rutgers. You want to hear that?
Is there an actual name for it?
Yeah, it's called Trying to Get Bowl Eligible.
I was going to call it the battle for the Schuylkill, but yeah, I like that one.
Both teams are 5-6. Both teams need a win to get bowl eligible. Give me Penn State.
Battle for the dollar toll to get into New Jersey from Houston.
Yeah.
You want to hear the saddest thing? It's that Vandy, Tennessee does not have a rivalry game. However, I saw something about Jubilee, so I'm unofficially make fetch happen. I'm calling this the Jubilee Bowl or the Jubilee rivalry.
Battle for Tennessee.
Battle for the Tennessee Jubilees. I don't know. It's the Vol Bowl or the I-40 Bowl. Some people call it the Smoky Mountain Bowl. Some people call it the Country Music Bowl. Give me. I'm actually going to take Vandy here. I know Tennessee's favored.
You're going to go with Diego Pavia's mom?
I'm going to go with Diego. It's like Stacy's mom. So Diego Pavia's mom. I think he's just going to get it done. And then next year, Vandy's going to go back to the basement. And we're going to remember these times fondly.
I think that Tennessee gets it done. Defense is good. They were able to rest most of their starters last week against Florida because Florida is a dumpster fire. Give me Tennessee to get done. Senior day, Joey Aguilar spins that bean. Does not turn the ball over. They run for a bunch of yards. So give me the Volunteers at home.
Duke is taking on Wake Forest. That's technically a rivalry. I'm not looking it up. I'm making this an unofficial rivalry. Kennesaw State Liberty. Call it the we suck, but we still beat you bowl.
Nice.
Kennesaw State is favored 2.5 points.
Give me Kennesaw State.
Liberty's at home.
Owl up.
That's the disrespectful.
I don't know if they say that.
About that. I mean, you should. We got the Commonwealth Cup and the Pac-12 Championship, both late night.
Second time they've played this year.
Okay.
Second time Oregon State and Washington State have played. They last played at the beginning of the month. So just 4 weeks ago, they played on 11-1. They will bookend the month. It was an Oregon State 10-7 victory. Give me Washington State Cougars to win. By the way, Oregon State's got 2 wins. One of them over Washington State. Give me Washington State to win, and then I believe because their overall record's better, they would be the winners in the Pac-12. So give me that. And then you said Commonwealth Cup, which is Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Virginia
Tech's fact
favored
here.
By 8.5.
Fun. Who's favorite? Virginia?
Virginia.
Yeah. I thought you said Virginia Tech. Fun fact here. In the last 25 years, Virginia Tech is 23-2. I'll say that again. 23-2 Virginia Tech in this rivalry in the last 25 years. However, I think that changes this year. Tony Elliott done a great job. I am rooting for Virginia SMU ACC Championship game. While not marquee for any of the marketing people out there, college football fans find that wildly fascinating. Give me Virginia to beat Virginia Tech.
Nice. By the way, still 28-14.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Wrapping up the rivalry, NC State, North Carolina. Again, don't care enough to look up that. NC State is favored by 7.5 points. Micaiah, real quick, who you got?
I think it's called the Battle for Carolina.
Ooh, love that.
I could be wrong with that. I'm going to actually take North Carolina here.
Okay. We're going to come back to the games we actually care about here in 2 seconds. Nevada, UNLV. These are just quickly
UNLV.
The battle for Fremont Cannon. I'm assuming it's pronounced that. That's what it is. Coming back to the crosstown rivalry, a city divided, crosstown showdown, crosstown cup, UCLA, USC. I don't think either team's good enough for you to spend more than about 30 seconds on this.
Give me UCLA in an upset.
21 and a half point dogs.
Why not?
You know what? We're here for it. All right. Finishing off the night. Turning it up. We got the Iron Bowl.
Spent my money on beer.
It's Alabama at Auburn. in Auburn, Alabama. Alabama's 6.5-point favorites.
Jordan Hare, what does Nick Saban call that? He calls that the horror house, the horror something.
The Whore's House?
No, the horror's house.
Isn't that what we call your mom's place? Hey, no. Come on.
Yeah, nice. He calls it something because there's just so much magic at Jordan Hare. By the way, Alabama needs this win to make an SEC title game. By the way, if Alabama loses this game, Simeon, they're probably out of the college football playoff, and Kalen DeBoer might be gone forever.
Might go to getting like to Penn State. Might be going to Penn State. Allegedly.
I think Alabama knows what's on the line. I think that they know they dropped a giant egg against Oklahoma yet again, back-to-back years. I think Alabama goes on the road, and Auburn just does not have enough magic. I don't like the whole 6.5. I'll take Alabama to win. I would not bet on this game because weird things happen in this game.
3-2.
I don't think so. I think you're thinking of Auburn and somebody else, but that's all right.
Dude, this was like 2012.
Yeah, no, that wasn't Auburn, Alabama. It was Auburn and someone else, but that's all right. I think it was Auburn and Mississippi State.
Okay. Well, fine. Don't be fun with me then. Cheapest ticket. You want to guess?
I was right. Auburn, Mississippi State, 2008.
Oh, okay. A little bit younger than that. I was 10. My bad, bro. Do you want to guess cheapest ticket? It's one of the rivalry games, surprisingly, and it's on Saturday.
Cheapest ticket.
Yeah. That's what we do. We do this every segment.
Am I supposed to look up or is it a big?
I gave you the hints you got. It's a late game. There's a new one on Saturday. It's a rivalry game. It's one of the lamer rivalries, to be quite honest with you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know if it was like a big time, like the Iron Bowl or something like that.
The Iron Bowl is the most expensive ticket. Big Ten.
Illinois Northwestern.
Exactly right.
Nice.
That is the Land O'Lakes Bowl, the battle for the Land of Lincoln. For the record, I'm positive you could just walk into Warren McGurk Alumni Stadium in Amherst, Massachusetts right now for free and watch that game. Which is
it's probably just no security.
There's probably no security.
Simeon, you missed one. Notre Dame Stanford.
That's okay. That's a rivalry. Get into a conference, and then I'll call it a rivalry game.
Notre Dame Stanford. I think Stanford covers. I'm just kidding.
Actually, no, I do think Stanford covers.
Stanford's big rivalry is against Cal.
Yeah.
And they beat Cal. I actually like where Stanford's going under Andrew Luck. At this point, though, Andrew Luck needs to not be the GM and just needs to be the football coach because he's very hands-on. Just be the football coach.
Yeah.
Call the plays. I think it would have looked out.
You see him calling for the fun ball? Calling the fun ball out?
Yeah, electric. I like Notre Dame to win. I do like Stanford to cover, though. And mostly because I think Notre Dame gets up 28-0 and then just takes their foot off the gas because they don't care. Because they're got to rest for the playoff.
That's fair. Okay. Last thing, as always.
Yeah.
It's our parlay. Now, here's the deal. Robert texted his leg in.
Yeah, and that was the one I was going to take.
It was the one he was going to take.
Yep.
I would like to give this... he messed up the parlay last week, right? You and I hit, then he missed.
Yes.
He will be missing again. So just do not bet this if you're the fans. We do this parlay not as like weird bet. We do this as fun, okay? Please game responsibly, 1-800-GAMBLER, all that sort of stuff. We have fun with this. This is just a fun little way for us to talk about more football in a different light. Uh-huh. He's taking Ohio State minus 9.5. I think he's wrong. We've already covered this. So
yeah, right. I mean, we have differing of opinion on this. Yeah,
we have differing of opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya, Robert took yours. So what do you have?
I'm trying to watch the FanDuel app so I can get odds for people at the end.
Oh, that's so nice of you. I was trying to remember which one I was going to take.
Okay.
And it was one of the
I'll give you time because
games.
it finally launched.
Okay.
So, their app is so annoying. FanDuel, get a better app.
Or don't.
As I scream it.
You're not their dad.
I'm going clean old-fashioned hate.
Okay.
Taking a little bit, at least on paper, a little bit more of a layup. I'm taking the Georgia Bulldogs to win outright. It's minus 650. So they are 13.5-point favorites, but I do just absolutely like the Bulldogs to win. Probably going away, I would probably take the minus a point, but I'm trying to take a little bit of a layup here. So give me the Bulldogs in clean old-fashioned hate to win the game.
I'm going to, because we're already losing this game, because Robert is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly what this was that I was originally going to take. I'm looking at this.
Make a panic choice like I did last week. And
I'm not loving this. No, it's not a panic choice. Micaiah, head coach at Northern Texas, his name?
Eric Morris?
Eric Morris just announced as Oklahoma State's new coach. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of money behind him.
That works out so well. Drew Mestemaker going to come over that offense, just going to
plug right in.
Those boys in section 232.
Yeah, I'm sure Drew Mestemaker. Here's the thing that always happens every year. Your coach is announced that he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
You call your agent and you start looking for schools. Give me the Temple Owls, not outright, but give me them plus 20.5 to cover against North Texas.
Wow. You know what? That might be the most analytical thing
that I've said all season.
That you've said all season.
And I was right about some other I don't remember what I was right about. I was right about other things.
It is plus 292 odds. So the Georgia money line kind of brings it down a little bit. So plus 292, which means I'm betting $1.34. It will win us $3.92 if we win it.
Take Georgia minus the points like a real man and up those odds.
I ain't upping. No, I'm not upping those odds. I need to finish on a layup. I am going to put the remaining $14 in my account on Ohio State to cover the spread.
Yikes. We already talked about that. Guys,
I'm in a win-win situation. I'm out $14, but Michigan wins on Saturday.
We'll do a podcast live from where if Franklin Marshall gets another home game.
Sure.
Go Franklin Marshall.
Go Franklin Marshall. Wash your hands, filthy animals. Bye-bye.